back, besties. I'm Lexi and welcome to another video. You're probably asking yourself, Lexi, why are your bookshelves behind you empty? Stay tuned, you will find out later in this vlog. I read 3 different fantasy books this week. I have already read those books. I'm just coming back now to film the intro for you guys. The first book I decided to read is A Fate Inked in Blood. Now this is a Viking fantasy. Now don't get it confused with Taming of the Wolves, which is a Viking Omegaverse book. A Fate Inked in Blood is a romantasy, I guess you would say, and I'm picking up this book in good faith because I love me some Viking Omegaverse. And then the next book I decided to pick up for this vlog is The North Wind. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. What it's giving is it's giving Entreat Me, and I really love that book. Entreat Me is written by Grace Draven, and it is a romantasy Beauty and the Beast retelling. And I'm hoping that The North Wind will be just as good as Entreat Me. I just love a good Beauty and the Beast retelling. And the last book I decided to pick up for this vlog is The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. Now I have never read an R.F. Kuang book, and I decided to give her a chance. The Poppy War is set in this Asian inspired society. We're following Rin. Now she is an orphan, but she does want to go to this like military academy, and I do know that she's developed some powers along the way, and it's kind of like a supernatural fantasy type world, but very rooted in Asian culture, and it's kind of grounded in real life events, but R.F. Kuang has kind of fantasy-ized that a bit. I don't know if that's the right word, but I'm excited to pick up all 3 of these books, and I'm excited for you to watch this vlog and to figure out why these bookshelves are currently empty. So stay tuned. I finished reading A Fate Inked in Blood last night, and I didn't like it. There were many times during this book where I just wanted to DNF it. We have Freya, and she's touched by a goddess. If you have even a touch of one of the gods' blood, then you will have some type of magical power. So her power is to be a shield caster. And from a very young age, she was told never to use her powers because there has been this fortune or this story that has been going around that whoever is a shield caster is destined to like lead the Vikings or conquer the Vikings and make them one whole community. Freya knows at a very young age that she has this power and this ability, but her parents have told her to never use her power because they know that it's going to get her in trouble. They think that because she's a shield caster, that a lot of the Viking kings in the area will want to use her and that she won't be safe from the Viking kings. Freya, in the beginning, she's married to this very horrible man that abuses her and SAs her, and there is implied R-word between her and her husband. And one day that she is just fed up with her husband, and they come across this man. His name is Bjorn, and his father is Snorri. So the father, Snorri, is one of the Viking kings. I don't remember exactly, but they get into a little of a fight, and she grabs Bjorn's weapon, and the weapon, that is also god touch. Like, Bjorn is god touch. He's like touched by the god of like fire. So when she touches the sword, it's kind of like a sword, it bursts into flame and it causes burns on her, but she kills her husband, and in order to save herself, she does like cast a shield around her and Bjorn. And that's when Snorri and Bjorn realize like, oh my god, she is this foretold shield caster that is gonna help us bring all the Viking lords together. This book is mainly them going around into many lands and trying to like conquer some of the Viking kings, but then she also develops a relationship with Bjorn, Snorri's son. But because Snorri's like, I am gonna be the one Viking king to rule all, he decides to marry Freya, even though he already has a wife, and the wife, I don't remember her name, she hates Freya. She's very much a jealous woman. Freya and Bjorn develop this romantic relationship, and they're like, we can't do this because I'm married to your father. Freya also has no romantic feelings towards Snorri. And while I was reading this book, I was bored. I was so bored a lot. I didn't care about the romance between Freya and Bjorn. I picked this up in good faith knowing that this was like a Viking romance. And you guys know I love Stolen by the Wolves. That is my favorite new obsession. And so I picked this up thinking that it was going to be a Viking romance minus the Omegaverse part of it, and it's not anywhere close to the writing and the level of fantasy that was built up in Stolen by the Wolves. This one I kind of don't care for. There's a lot of points in this book where Freya was like, I'm this strong woman. I'm like, you're giving a lot of telling but not a lot of showing. So unfortunately, I think I'm probably gonna give this maybe like 2-3 stars. I don't recommend it, and this is a very beautiful copy. It's the one with the sprayed edges. I think what I'm gonna end up doing is that I think I am going to sell this on my Pango shop because I have no need to keep a book like this, even though it is really nice and it's sprayed edges and it's very beautiful. don't want to keep a book on my bookshelves because there's so much limited space that I don't absolutely love, and I do not absolutely love this one. And after I finished it last night, my brain immediately started deleting the files of this book. It was like delete, delete, delete. We're just not obsessed with this, and I was really hoping to find another Viking series that I was gonna love just as much as I like the Stolen by the Willow series. I'm so sorry if you like this book, that I love that for you. It's just not a book that I enjoyed. Also, the ending was so predictable. But moving on, the next book I want to pick up is The North Wind by Alexandra Warwick. I have never read a book by this author before, so I'm interested to see if I'm going to like this. I picked this up when I was just shopping around at Half Price Books because I saw that it's inspired by The Beauty and the Beast and the myth of Hades and Persephone. And I was like, that sounds interesting to me because I love a good Beauty and the Beast retelling. I love Entreat Me by Grace Draven. So good, and that was a really well done Beauty and the Beast retelling where it like mixed fantasy and romance together and it didn't sacrifice either one of those genres. It was just so well done. So I'm hearing that this is going to be another Beauty and the Beast retelling with a bit of smut, romantasy. It says in the back, inspired by Beauty and the Beast and the myth of Hades and Persephone. This lush and enchanting enemies to lovers fantasy romance is perfect for fans of Sarah J. Maas and Jennifer L. Armentrout and Scarlett St. Clair. The red flags in my head are going up because I'm not a fan of Sarah J. Maas or Jennifer L. Armentrout. I've never read anything by Scarlett St. Clair, so now that I have read the back of this, I'm concerned. But you know what? Let's go into it with positive attitude and hope that this is just as good as Entreat Me. So let's get started on this, and I will check up with you guys when I am done with the book. Guys, we've reached a point in the video where my hair no longer looks good and it's very greasy, so it is hat time. This hat will be staying on my head for this update. Also, my hat is a Deadpool Wolverine hat that I got from Box Lunch. I just love Box Lunch, and I have seen the Deadpool Wolverine movie, and it was so good. I saw it when I was in Minneapolis when I was traveling for work, so it has been some time, but I recently saw this at Box Lunch and I was like, yes, I actually will be getting that hat because I love that movie. I am back to give you an update on The North Wind. I went into this book with very positive attitude. I think because I read the back of this book where it said if you're a fan of Sarah J. Maas or Jennifer L. Armentrout that this is something that you might like, and I don't enjoy works by either of those authors, that I was afraid to kind of start this one. But I picked it up, and I am here to tell you that I ended up DNFing this. I DNF'd at 60%. I couldn't care less. I really couldn't care less. The premise of this book is that we're following Ren, and she has a younger sister. In this like town or village that they live in, the Frost King, also named as Boreas, also named as the North Wind, comes every so often to take a woman and make them his wife. So he chooses one woman, whisks her away to his castle, but like the townsfolk doesn't know why he does this. So they're just like, oh, he's kidnapping these women for his own like self-use. But what's happening in this world is that there's something called like the Dark Walkers or the Dark Dwellers, I think it is. They're basically like evil being kind of like ghosts that are there to hurt or harm the people. So the North Wind, his role in all of this is that he keeps them out and he protects the people. So he's actually taking these women and like using their blood to protect this thing called like the Void or like a rift, or think of it like a huge shadow that will keep the Dark Dwellers out of here. So in the very beginning of this book, Ren has a twin sister, like I mentioned before, and the North Wind picks the sister, the younger sister, I really can't remember her name, as the woman that he's going to take away. And Ren is like, actually, I need to protect my sister, because they're very much opposites. The younger sister is very like shy, demure, but Ren is very like self-assured and confident. She's like, I will not allow you to take my sister. And because they're twins, they swap places, but the North Wind is not aware of that. So in their wedding ceremony, he realizes that, oh, you're not the one that I picked, and he gets really mad. There are definitely scenes where he locks her up and treats her pretty bad. There was this one scene where he like chokes her and grabs her throat, and she gets really upset and she's like, I'm gonna fight back. But then like halfway through the book, they develop this romance. I just don't like it when a romance is started out with just like physical abuse like that, and then they're expected to just get over it, and we as the readers fall in love with the main character. And Ren, while she's being held captured in this castle, she's like, I'm gonna find a way to get out of here. But then she develops a romance with him, and I swear to God, like halfway through the book, I was just like, I don't care. I actually don't care. I don't like the story. I don't like how this is glorifying abusive women and then her falling in love with the North Wind. We also meet the North Wind's brother. He's the West Wind. North Wind is like, he's the king over the frost, and then the West Wind, he is like the king over like springtime. And it's 4 brothers, so I can only assume it's summer, fall, winter, spring is what they represent. But I'm here to tell you that I do not care. When I was reading this audiobook, I had to like rewind many chapters because it just was not sinking into my brain, partly because I didn't care. Like once I realized this enemies to lovers story was actually her being abused and then falling in love with her captor, I was not into it. Also, my other thing is that this says it's a Hades and Persephone retelling, and my issue with Hades and Persephone is Persephone was very much kidnapped by Hades to the underworld, where she also fell in love with her captor. I just don't think I've read a Hades and Persephone retelling where it's done well. Hades and Persephone and this book, the way that it's written, is very much giving Stockholm Syndrome, and I am just not into that kind of vibes for a romance. Because I read over 50% of it, I am rating it. I'm going to give it 1 star. This is another copy of a book that I will be getting rid of. So it's very unfortunate for this video that I have read 2 books that I didn't like. I think I need to switch gears because the past 2 books I have read have been very like fantasy heavy on the romance. I think I need to eliminate romance for the next book that I pick up. And I think I might pick up The Poppy War. That's actually in the bedroom right now. I don't want to go ahead and grab it, but I think I might pick up The Poppy War because I think that is also fantasy, but like war, set in like an Asian country with a diverse set of characters. I think that might actually be it for me. And the other reason I'm picking up this book is my friend Kara asked me to pick it up. She has it on her bookshelf. She's like, that book is so thick and it's so long. She's like, Lexi, read it first because you'll let me know if you like it or if you hate it, and I trust your opinion. So I'm gonna pick that up because not only because I want to read it, but also because Kara wants to read it. Also because it's a widely popular book series and highly praised. So I'm hoping that will save this video. So why don't we go ahead and get started with that one next. Hi. As you can see, my background is a little bit different. All my books are not on the shelves, and I got some boxes right here. And you might be asking yourself, Lexi, what's going on? Well, I'm moving. I didn't expect this to happen in the middle of this reading vlog. In fact, I didn't expect this to happen at all. But I am moving out of this apartment that I currently live in. I've been living here since March, and it's now almost the end of September. So a little over 6 months I've been living in this apartment. And unfortunately, I found out that I had to move on Monday. Today is now Friday, and I have to be out of this apartment by October 1st. Yeah, you heard that right. Something happened to me where I am being forced to move out of no fault of my own. Kind of don't want to talk about it because it's a bit depressing to me. I'm not happy right now. I'm a little bit depressed about it. I don't know where I'm gonna live, and I have to be out of here in a week. I think once everything has settled down, I will give you guys a full update as to what's been happening around here within my life. Just a lot of changes that I did not expect to have happen. But you're not here for that. You're not here for depressed Lexi. You're here for me to talk about The Poppy War. Now, what's going on with this book? So we're following this character named Rin. She's an orphan. She is under the caretaker of like the shop owner. And the shop owner is like trying to marry her off because it's like, the time has come. You're old enough. We're gonna marry you off to get that dowry. And Rena's like, I don't think I actually want to be married to a man or to anybody at all. And so she reaches out to this teacher that teaches students and helps them get placed into academies. But Rin, being an orphan and being really poor, her only option is to go to Singard Military Academy because it's free tuition there if she gets in. But she can only get in if she passed like super hard test. So her and her tutor makes her study a whole ton. The studying that she does is a little bit intense. Like she learns by inflicting pain on herself. So I guess trigger warning for self-harm. But she is able to pass the test and she gets placed into Singard Military Academy where things gets even harder for her because it's like an elite school, and basically all the kids who go to that school are people who are legacy students whose parents are generals or like warlords. And so she is the odd one out. And the teachers there, some of them treat her really bad because they're like, oh, we believe in only the elite coming here. So she really has to like prove herself, study hard, fight hard. It's also like physical combat that they're learning as well as like strategy, because this world that Rin lives in is at war with nearby land. They have been like at war for a long time, but they're in peacetime. I guess I wouldn't really say it's peacetime. It's more like a ceasefire that's happening for years and years and years. And once Rin is in this academy and they graduate, they have to pick different tracks of like learning, where that is like going to strategy, the medical field, lore, what have you. Rin meets a teacher who teaches lore, and everyone in the academy is like, he's like a drunkard, or he's unreliable, or he's an idiot is what most people call him, because I guess in lore he doesn't accept a lot of students because it's kind of tricky learning path, because it's more of like shamanistic learning. You're like reaching out to gods, and not a lot of people can do that. There is a student that she meets, his name is Alton, and he is considered a Steerly, I believe that's how you pronounce it, and he is like this, I guess, ethnicity or a race of person who has been kind of like wiped away, and he's the last one left because their society thinks them as very like dangerous because they have the ability to kind of like power up. I don't know if I'm explaining this correctly, but they have like advanced strength and skills, which makes him like a very dangerous person, but he's the last one of his kind. That's basically the setting. It's just like war between her society, a different society, and her learning lore, and then her meeting Alton. She's actually met a ton of different kids in this school, and there's so many that I cannot keep track of their names. I think I'm going to be giving you a bad synopsis of this book because my brain is a little bit scattered because I do have to move, and my mental health is like trending towards depression right now. So while I'm reading this, I'm barely like processing it. I'm not sure if I need to like DNF this, or if I should continue reading, rate it, and maybe pick it up at a different time when I'm mentally in a different headspace, because right now in my life it ain't it. So I just don't know. Like right now this book is probably sitting like at a 3 stars for me. I don't know if I can rate this accurately. I do want to finish it though, and my library hold is expiring within like the next 2 days for the audiobook. So I'm just a little like, what do I do? We'll see today, because I have some apartment tours that I'm going to today. If I was in a better headspace, I would show you this apartment right now and everything that's packed up and the state of it. But I'm really just depressed. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. I just have to tell myself it's gonna be fine. I think I've made up my mind that I will be finishing this book. So I'll check back up with you guys once I am done and give you my final thoughts. Probably won't be well spoken in that final wrap up, but I'll check you back soon. I finished reading The Poppy War last night, and I don't think that this book is bad. I just think that because of everything I have going around in my life right now, that this just wasn't the book for me to pick up. I mean, I did pick up this book when everything was doing pretty good in my personal life, but now that everything's gone to shit, everything I read is going in one ear and out the other. There's a major character that had died towards the end of this book, and when that happened, I didn't feel a thing. It just didn't hit me the way that I think the author intended it to be. And it's not because this is bad. I think I'm just not in the right frame of mind to read this. And I should have DNF'd and maybe read something a little bit lighter that's still within the fantasy world, like maybe a cozy fantasy. So it's kind of a bummer that we're ending this video like the way that it is. I think I will pick this up and try to read this at a later date, because I don't want to say that this book is bad, and I don't want to say that it's good, because I just wasn't in the right state of mind to read this book. And I really want to give this book a fair shot. So for right now, I'm just giving it a 3 stars, and I will revisit this book sometime in the future. It's really unfortunate that I didn't like any of the books that I read for this video. So to wrap up, I started off reading A Fate Inked in Blood, and I had high hopes for this book because I like Stolen by the Wolves, the Viking Omegaverse, and I picked up Fate Inked in Blood with good faith, and that book turned out to not be it. Didn't care for that book either, but in that case, I do think that the book was bad. I'm gonna end up giving that one 2 stars, 1 star, unsure. You'll have to check out my Goodreads, which is linked below, to see what I rated this book. And then I read The North Wind, which was truly just a bad book. That Beauty and the Beast retelling was giving too much ACOTAR and too much abuse, but make it cute. And I read about 60 or maybe to 70% of that book before I decided to DNF it, and I give it 1 star. And then here we are with The Poppy War that I'm gonna give 3 stars, but it's not the book's fault that it's getting 3 stars. I don't want to end this video on a complete sour note, so why don't we just take a tour around the apartment right now starting with my bed, because by the time you see this video, I probably will have been fully moved out of this apartment. So this is my bedroom. This room is pretty gigantic. This is the closet and the dresser. Movers are gonna come and move that dresser. And then I have clothes in these bins on the floor. And then this part of the closet is almost empty. And then I do have my dog bed and that bubble wrap on the floor. And then that's my dog. And then here's my bed. Movers are also going to be moving this bed because it is a queen size bed. The mattress itself is very heavy and I will not be moving that on my own. These boxes are where my books are currently in right now. So the movers are gonna move the boxes, and then the bookshelves, they're gonna move that as well. And then here is my desk. There's a lot of stuff on this desk right now, but they're gonna move the desk. I'll be moving the chair and everything that's on top of the desk, as well as monitors. And then we have my bathroom, which is almost fully cleared out. I just have some shower stuff that's still in there and the placemats and then my clothes on the floor. And then these Home Depot boxes here that are right around the corner from the bathroom is going to be something that the movers move. And then this couch, the movers are going to move that as well as the table that's over here. These smaller tables, I think I might be able to move on my own. But then if we pan out over here, this stuff right here, which is just some clothes that I packed in those suitcases, I'm gonna be able to move that myself. And then here we have the kitchen. Everything that's in these cupboards have been cleared out. I just need to move the food that's on the countertop. And then we can go and see the second bedroom. So the second bedroom is already cleared out. You can see here there's echo in here. The bathroom is almost all the way cleared out. This closet is cleared out. Yeah, so I'm almost all the way moved out of here. Just a few more stuff to go. I think it's probably gonna take me 3 more trips to get everything that I can move out by myself out of here. And then the movers are gonna get everything else. I cannot wait to see where I land next. I definitely know that for a short time, I will be moving into my parents' house until I can find a different apartment that's within the price range that I'm willing to pay. I do wanna end this video on a high note, because I think what I'm gonna do next is I'm probably gonna read some romance novels, because if that's gonna fix my mood and make me in a happier, brighter mood, I think romance will do it for me. So why don't you guys stay tuned next week to probably a romance video. Also, please send good vibes my way. Send happy thoughts in the comments. Please like and subscribe to this video. And I will see you guys next week in another video. Bye!